In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Welcome to the Open Bible Podcast. My name is Ethan Jones, and I'm the interim associate pastor at Church the Open Bible in Ponoka, Alberta. This is our first installment of this podcast, where we will be putting out weekly devotionals, which will alternate between Pastor Jeremy and I. We will also be putting out monthly theological discussions, where the two of us will dive into some of the important issues facing today's church. Our hope is that through this series, we will be able to edify the church here in Ponoka, as well as anyone beyond who may come upon this podcast. So wherever you are today, we welcome you. Today's devotional will be coming out of Psalm 25, verses 1 to 2. It reads, "To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. Let me not be put to shame. Let not my enemies exult over me." One of the worst feelings in the world is when someone close to you breaks your trust. Whether it's a best friend who talks about you or criticizes you behind your back, or even to your face. When a stranger does this, of course it hurts a little bit, but if your best friend does it, or if a spouse or family member lies to you or betrays you, that tears a person apart. On the other hand, there are very few things in this world as wonderful as having someone you can trust. Someone that doesn't betray you, someone who is always there for you, someone with whom you can share anything, knowing that it won't be repeated. We all want someone like that, someone who will be responsible with our trust. This is why David says in the psalm, "I lift up my soul to the Lord." Spurgeon writes on this, that true devotion is the soul rising from earth to have fellowship with heaven. It is taking a journey upon Jacob's ladder, leaving our cares and fears at the foot, and meeting with a covenant God at the top. When I say that I am lifting up my soul to God, this means that I am offering my life to Him. I'm not trying to protect myself. I'm not hiding myself from the Lord. To lift up my soul means that I am bringing my life before God as an offering. It means I am putting my entire trust in Him. We often speak about opening up our hearts to people. Our hearts are protected by our ribs for a good reason. Our hearts are fragile and vulnerable. They are susceptible to injury. To remove our ribs as to open up our hearts, in the literal sense, would expose our hearts to all kinds of danger. Doing this would put you in a vulnerable place, to say the least. And this has important spiritual significance as well. When we spiritually open up our hearts to our friends and our family, people that we trust, we expose ourselves to the danger of being spiritually injured. And we hope that they don't break that trust, but people so often do, don't they? And it tends to be the people that we put the most trust in, the people that we look up to most, that hurt us most when we are betrayed or let down by them. It really is true that the higher the pedestal you put someone on, the harder they fall, and the greater the impact that that fall has. To God, though, we can offer up our hearts completely. We can put complete trust in Him. We can offer our souls to God, knowing that He will not betray us, and He will never fail us. This is why David speaks so boldly about lifting up his soul to God. David does not keep guarding this most vulnerable part of his spirit, but he offers it up to God. He exposes his deepest thoughts to God, knowing that the Lord will not leave him or forsake him. When we do this, when we put our trust in God, we expose ourselves, becoming vulnerable before Him. And God forgives us entirely. This is why we sing of God's great grace so often. No one who has ever lifted up their souls in this way to the Lord, no one who has ever put their trust in Him, exposing their deepest and darkest secrets to God, has ever been put to shame. When we put our trust in God, He forgives all our iniquity, and we have such a great hope in that. Songs like Amazing Grace remind us that we never need to fear opening up ourselves to God. He has lavished His grace on us and forgiven all our sins. So then, brothers and sisters, open yourselves to God today. Lift up your souls to Him. As the spoken word group Beautiful Eulogy says, "Whom shall I fear if my anchor is secure?" You can trust God, so walk boldly before His throne. Confide in Him, knowing that He is the secure anchor who will not forsake you and He will not put you to shame. Thank you for joining me for this first edition of the Open Bible Podcast. Our intro music today was Morning Song by Antoine Bradford. And our closing music today is Abba by John Mark Pantana. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you on Sunday.
I never solve all the formulas I've created. I know your heart is more than just a law to pay the bills. I want to walk inside the cool of the day with simple affections of your heart. I wanted everything in 9 to 5 and devote time. Sometimes I make life a simple cell. All I need and all I want, all I care for is all I know is Abba. All I know is Abba. When communing, I know your love is all the drink I'll ever need. I want to walk inside the cool of the day with simple affections of your heart. I'm found in everything you did for me and nothing more. Sometimes I make life a simple song. All I need and all I want, all I care for is Abba. All I know is Abba. Abba. All I know is Abba. I belong to you. I belong to you, Abba. You are singing and dancing over your sons, smiling and beaming. Your Father's love, singing and dancing over your sons, smiling and beaming. Your Father's love. Abba, all I know is Abba.